Hello everyone, welcome back to our Accounting 210. In this video, we continue with the chapter 6, cost behavior. Last time we started the high and low method, and then I leave a question to you. I said, hey, if this is in your exam, please find the high and the low point. In terms of what? In terms of X. I don't know whether you found it yes or no, or you are waiting for me to tell you the high and the low. Here is what I found. So first we focus on the X, right? So we only look at all these X numbers. We don't even look at the Y. And then you tell me which one is the highest. The highest I found is 25,200 in July. And then I found the lowest one is 13,250. So this is my answer. I hope you found the same points as me. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? In the July, people may have the summer break, students or family, so they will go to the hotel, go travel. That's the time you will have a lot of guests. January, out of the Thanksgiving or Christmas break, I think January people go back to work. So maybe that's why you have the lowest guest number. One more time, we focus high and low in terms of our X guest volume. Don't look at Y. Don't look at Y now. So your first step, right? So your first step is, I put it here, right? I put it here. So first step is high and the low X, high and the low in terms of the X, And then your second step, so once you get the X, now you can look at the Y. So first we focus on the X, and then we found the related Y. So if you go to look at the right side, the high X is related with this Y, The low X is related with this Y. So it may not be the highest and lowest Y. It may be, but it doesn't matter. Your first step is always look at the high and the low X. And then find the related Y. That's all. You find the related Y. You look at the Y. That's all. So we have these two dots, right? This is the lowest one, and then this is the highest one. Sorry, I don't know why the pen doesn't work. Okay, so this is, okay, hold on. So this is the highest one. This is the highest dot. So we have low and high. How do we get our model? How do we get our slope? Step one is first get the high and the low X. Step two is you find the related Y. I believe this is what you have learned in high school or in college, the statistics or math. Is the slope will be high and low of Y. So your numerator is always the difference of Y, and your denominator is the difference of the X. So you use Y high minus Y low divided by X high and then X low. As I mentioned, we found that the low point is in January, and then the high point is in July. So this is the Y, and this is the X. Sorry, my bad. So this is the X because this is the volume. The cost, this is Y. So this is, we use the high Y minus low Y, high Y minus low Y, high Y minus low Y, divide high X minus the low X, high X minus the low X. So this will give us the slope. So you only get this. This will be the slope. We found the slope is $8 per guest. We found the slope is 8. Okay, the 8 sounds familiar, right? Yes, we basically found the same as our example is 8. This is how we found the 8 is $8 per guest. This is the slope. Once you get this one, so how do you find the fixed cost? Then how do you find the fixed cost? You can either use the high point or the low point, either one. There are two ways to do this. So you can find textbook tells you or. So now we found the slope is 8, right? I put it here. You can either use the high or the low. So if you use high, then our equation is y equals to vx plus f. We already found that the slope is 8. And then we can either use the high y, high x, or the low y and the low x. So now if we use high y, this is the high y equals high x times the 8 plus the fixed cost. Then you get the fixed cost is 8,000. Or you use the low y equals to 8 times the low x plus fixed cost. Then you will also get the fixed cost is 8,000. So we can either use high point or the low point. Either one is fine. Either one is fine. So from there, we can get our fixed cost is 8,000. So now we have our slope is 8. We have our fixed is 8,000. We can write down our equation. So what our equation will be, we said y equals vx plus f, right? Y equals our v, the slope is 8 and the x plus our fixed cost is 8,000. So how do we interpret this? We said, hey, if there is nobody, then your fixed cost will still be 8,000. If there is one guest, then the cost will be 8 plus 1, 8 times 1 plus 8,000. So we can use this to make a prediction. We talked about this, I think, last video, but let's say, hey, if you have 100 guests, what your predicted total cost will be. You can even make a prediction before the guests really come, right? So it will be 8 plus times my 100, this is the volume, plus my fixed cost. We said you should expect to have 8,800 as your total cost when 100 guests come to your hotel. So this is how do you use high and low method to find this equation and make a prediction. I put my step here. So first step is you find the slope, right? So you use high y minus low y divided by high x minus low x. So second step is you find your fixed cost. You can either use the high point or the low point. Either one is fine. Then the third one is you get your equation. Y equals to the slope and then the x plus the fixed cost. You get the slope from step 1. You get the fixed cost from step 2. So you get this equation. And then you can make a prediction. You feel, oh, I feel good, right? I'm ready to do some practice. Let's do 2 practice together, and then I stop here. So this video basically just do some practice with you. Let's look at this one. Utility for the company is a mixed cost. Highest utility is 10,000. Okay, so I highlight some numbers with you. This is the cost is 10,000. When 2,000 machine hours are used. So what is Y? The dollar amount, the cost will be Y, and then this is the cost driver is the X, and this is the highest. So we have this high. It's already told you we don't need to look at it. The lowest one, the utility. So this is Y, right? And then this is the X. Estimated this will be used in next month. What will be your estimated total bill? Using the high and the low method. Okay, so first step is we need to get the equation, right? We need to get the equation. And then how do we get it? Now, our slope will be the high y minus low y divided by high x and the low minus low x. I don't want to write it. So you can find the equation here. I'm not going to repeat the formula because I'm afraid the pen will give me trouble. But so this is how do you get the slope. So remember, this is the dollar amount is Y and then minus Y. High Y, I use this high Y minus low Y and then divided by high X minus low X divided by high X. Okay, so let's get all the numbers. High Y, 10,000. minus 7,200. This is high y minus low y, high y, and divided by high x minus low x, 2,000 minus 1,200. So if you can do me a favor, tell me what's the number will be. You tell me the number. Sorry. So I use my calculator. I should have already. So give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So 10,000 minus 7,200. My numerator is 2,800, and then divided by 800, I get 3.5. Is that what you got? 3.5. Work with me, right? Don't just look at me. So this, this is your slope. This is your slope. Once you get the slope, then you can either use a high point or the low point. I use a high point in this example, and I use a low point in next example. So you can say they will get the same answer. So for this example, I use the high one. Okay, so I use the high one. So this is my slope. Y equals 3.5x plus my fixed cost, right? Since I use the high slope, so I should use this. I use the high point. So I use, when it's high, my y is 10,000 equals 3.5 times my x is 2,000, and then plus my fixed. So plus my fixed. So you can see from here, I don't need my calculator. This will be 7,000. 10,000 equals 7,000 plus my F. So my fixed will be 3,000. I believe this is the right answer. Then you have this slope, you have this fixed cost. You can write your equation. You can get your equation. So my equation will be y equals slope 3.5 times my x plus my fixed cost is 3,000. So this will be my equation. And what prediction I want to make? I want to say when I have 1,500 machine hours, what my total cost will be. So if this is the point, you should already know now your machine hour is 1,500. So now you just need to put the number, right? You use 3.5. You don't time x because you already know the x now is 1,500 times 1,500 machine hour, and then you plus your fixed cost 3,000. So if you do me a favor, you tell me what the number will be. I do this very quickly with you. So 3.5 times my actual machine hour 1,500 is 5,250 plus my 3,000. So I get my predicted dollar amount. The cost will be $8,250. So that will be my predicted cost when my machine hour is 1,005 hours. So you can say how we can use high and low method to get our regression model and then how to make a prediction. I think I talked too much. I don't know whether you are still there, yes or no. I hope you are still there, hanging up with me. So hang on there with me. We talk about high and low method. Good thing is very simple. It follows y equals to ax plus b. But the disadvantage is we only use 2 points, so it may not be very accurate. We talk about more accurate regression using the Excel in next video. But I want to look at this question very quickly with you, okay? So this is from textbook. He said, you have this and this. So let's look at this title first. This is the month, nothing to say. Number of lab tests performed, okay? This is a total lab overhead cost. I want to ask you a question. Which one is X? Which one is Y? Remember, we focus on the total X, that we focus on the total cost. The cost, whenever you see the cost, that will be our Y. And then this is our cost driver, right? This is the X. So if you perform one test, it will give us a lot of cost. So this will be our cost driver. If you have 3,250 tests, your cost will be $27,600. if you have 3,000 tests, then your cost, manufacturing overhead cost will be 24,800. So first make sure what is X, what is Y. This is very important. And then next one, use high and low method to determine the equation, and then ask you what will happen if you have 2,700 tests. So this is make prediction. This is to get the cost equation. I'm not going to do it here. I think I'll show you my work quickly next video. So I leave this one to you. We already figured out this is X, this is Y. Remember, our first step is find high and low X. So you need to find high and low X, right? You need to find high and low X. I'll show you it here, high and low X. And then once you get high and low X, you kind of get this point, right? So this is high point, this is a low point, right? So once you get that, get your slope using y high minus y low divided by x high minus x low, you get your slope. And you get your fixed cost. You get your fixed cost. I show you how I will get it using the low point this time. And then once you get the slope and fixed cost, you can write your equation. After getting your equation, you can make a prediction when you perform 2,700 the test. So I stop here. I leave this question to you to practice, and then we check the answer in the next video. Thank you. I'll see you next time.